Did you know January is supposed to be the most depressing month of the year? One Christmas I remember, my wife actually purchased using the credit card reward points. 30,000 will sound very ridiculously expensive. Do you know why do you overspend? Just think about it. Just pause for a second. Urban India is expected to spend around 1.85 lakh crore or $22 billion during 2024. And then the total Christmas spending in the United States was forecasted to reach 1.1 trillion, which is like 9.35 lakh crores. Long-term asset loss. Focus on building memories. Hi, welcome to my channel yet again. And we have now entered the festive season. Christmas is around the corner. And we are all in the festivity mood. And one thing that we are drawn most to is spending. And so this video this time is about responsibly spending for Christmas or any festival. What is the psychology behind spending so much at festivals, at Christmas time? And what are the things you need to remember? What are the most important things you need to remember to ensure that you are protected, you grow long term wealth, and you don't do something that is very foolish? So today's video is all about that. Before I proceed, hi, I'm Frankie Fernandez. I'm a certified financial planner and I'm also a certified marriage coach. My mission is to help young families to not just grow their wealth, but also their relationship, because these both are so intertwined. They are very important. If you have one of them, your life will be incomplete, probably even a disaster. So don't focus on just one of them. Focus on both the important things of life, especially how to manage these relationships. Both relationships are God given. Your marriage and this money is both are God given. And how you responsibly manage these things is what will make you successful in life. If you are new to this channel, I encourage you to watch this and even the other videos that I have posted. My goal is to help you. I like to teach concepts. I like to teach things that will make you think. And it's all about money and relationships, as I mentioned. So let's get into today's video, which is about how to be responsibly spending this Christmas. So even before we get into how to responsibly spend at Christmas, I want you to give the context of what is spending like during Christmas across the globe, because Christmas is celebrated across the world with a lot of pomp and cheer. A lot of money is spent. So let's take a look at initially a little statistics. Before we get into actually spending, I want you to look at these statistics. So what are the stats like for Christmas, which is spending globally? According to demandsage.com, Christmas spending in 2024 is anticipated to rise by 7% compared to last year, with the average shopper expected to spend around it's like $1,700, something like around 1.4 lakhs on gifts, travel, and entertainment. And this is globally. According to the National Retail Federation, American consumers spend an average of around $1,000 on gifts, an average on gifts and other holiday items each Christmas. When calculating the expenses, we can conclude that Americans spend around a week's salary on Christmas shopping. This is according to America. And then the total Christmas spending in the United States was forecasted to reach 1.1 trillion, which is like 9.35 lakh crores. So many zeros. Lakh has 5 zeros, crores has 7 zeros, right? So this is the kind of spending that happens across the world. There are a lot of websites, which I'm going to share with you briefly, some of these websites, what it is like, what kind of spending people do at Christmas. Look at this, the cost of Christmas around the world. Around the world. Look at this estimated Christmas spending in retail in Europe. This is what it is in pounds. Retail sales in billion British pounds. That means 88 billion pounds. 1 pound is something like 107 rupees per pound, and 1 billion pound is something like 10,000 crores. So just imagine the amount of money that is spent. So here this demand stage which I just mentioned. So 2024 holiday spending expected to reach new record, right? So consumer spending on the winter holiday expect to reach a record of $900 per person, which is like $1,000 is like 85,000 rupees. So somewhere around 7,500, 75,000 rupees. So that was global statistics. What about India statistics around festival spending? Let's take a quick look. According to a survey by local circles, urban India is expected to spend around 1.85 lakh crore or $22 billion during 2024 festive season. This was an article in 2nd October. Obviously, after that, we had the Diwali. And now the Christmas spending. We all know what kind of spending everyone does at Christmas. So there'll be huge, huge spending. Now, so what do these stats tell us? And we already know a lot of it. Those stats are our stats, right? Your stats and my stats. So what does these stats tell us? Let's understand before we get into how to spend responsibly. A lot of money is being and will be spent this Christmas. So already people have started spending, and there will be a lot of spending happening during Christmas. The average spending is up from last year, and if you look at the stats, spending keeps going up every year, obviously because of inflation, but and also because of the rising salaries, the rising workforce, and many now, getting very good salaries. Likely that families will overspend, and I can tell you this by experience, and I'm sure many of you can tell that you will spend more. You tend to overspend, and chances of accumulating credit card debt is huge. There are chances that you will accumulate credit card debt. Did you know January is supposed to be the most depressing month of the year? You can read the stats. You can look at what happens. In fact, a lot of lawyers are busy actually working on divorce cases. Yes, that's the truth. This is primarily because of the December bills that have to be paid, the credit card bills that have to be paid. Of course, there are other psychological reasons because you had a very good holiday, festive season, and then you have to get back to work and come back to reality. And probably you have enrolled for to the gym or made some resolutions. And by January end, you actually have broken some of those resolutions or all of those resolutions. So a lot of things are working. But one of the big concerns is the bills that have to be paid. Reality sets in that time. So now this is the reality. Why do we overspend? Do you know why do you overspend? Just think about it. Just pause for a second, for a few seconds, and think, why do I overspend? Why? Let's take a look at what is it that why do we overspend? So why do we overspend at festivals? Emotions take over, right? It's more to do with your emotions and less to do with your thinking. The reason, the basis, the reason behind the festival, we all forget. For example, Christmas is the birth of Jesus. He came into this world to save mankind, to save humanity. He died. So if you look at the profound meaning of Christmas, it's very different. But when we spend, emotions take over. Emotions take over our thinking, and we just spend without purpose. It's not that joy of why Christ came into the world. It is more to do with what I get from it, what's in it for me. That's why I spend. Societal peer pressure. Everybody's spending. Everybody's spending huge. You go to a shopping mall, during Christmas season, and you'll find so many shoppers buying and buying and buying. So there is this societal peer pressure that everybody is buying new clothes. Why shouldn't we buy? Everybody is buying, something, probably buying a new car for whatever reason. Why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I? Everybody's buying a big TV. Everybody's buying a great sofa set. Everybody's going to IKEA and getting a lot of furniture because of the festive season, because of the discounts and so many things. So societal peer pressure, lack of planning. This is a big thing as a financial planner. And most of my life, I have not done a lot of planning. And I know if you don't plan, you fail. It's that apt saying, which is if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that is very true. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this a little later. So this is the reason: lack of planning, lack of budgeting, lack of thinking that what I need, what is the money, what are the resources I have got, and traditions. Like a lot of we have spent it since our childhood. We are doing this since our childhood. We are celebrating. Is it really relevant right now? What you're doing? Just ask yourself. Yes, there are some very good traditions. Yes, but if they cost you too much, and if it has no meaning, should you continue to do that tradition? So traditions. And finally, a lot of marketing and ads running across across media, whether it is mainline media or whether it is social media. Everywhere you will find marketing, and ads, full of ads of buying something for Christmas. So all these things put together lead us to overspending. Now that we have seen that it is a global phenomena, even in India it happens, and there is a reason why we overspend. So what should we do? Should we do something about it, or should we just let it happen thoughtlessly? You must give it a thought. You must have a plan, a long-term plan, which is called a strategy. Let's take a look at it. So we should have a strategy for spending at festivals. What is the strategy? Number one, budget or have financial goals. As a financial planner, this is one thing which I keep talking, and all financial planners will keep talking, is you must have financial goals for spending that you will do in the future. Retirement, children's education, their marriage, buying a house, or even buying a car. You must have financial goals, because if you have financial goals, you will save towards it. And when you are having financial goals, you will budget. So budgeting and financial goals go hand in hand. So number one is we should do at the start of the year, or whenever you do your budgeting and your planning, plan for celebrations, Christmas or birthday or whatever. Have a yearly plan where you say, this is what I'm going to spend, and then save towards it. Ensure that you have a budget for that. So plan how much I'm going to spend. I want to spend 10, 20, 30, whatever. So if you plan in advance, you are conscious of the money that will be spent. In January or in February, when you say, I want to spend 30,000 or 40,000 this Christmas, it seems reasonable. During Christmas, when you spend even 30,000, it doesn't seem reasonable because emotions take you over. As I said, traditions take you over, marketing, ads, and all. So if you're not planned, other things will take over. So planning helps. So when you plan at the beginning of the year, you're very sensible. At that point in time, 30,000 will sound very ridiculously expensive. But in Christmas time, it'll not sound expensive. So be careful right in the beginning. If you say, okay, I'm going to spend 50,000 or I'm going to spend 60,000 this Christmas. So what I do, I start saving every month. I start saving 500 rupees every month, set aside for Christmas. One simplistic example. I never saved for a Christmas spending. I did a couple of things which I'm going to talk to you. But one of the things is I would get a bonus in November. When I worked for Alliance Capital, my last job, I would get bonus in the month of November. So what I would do is from that bonus, I would actually set aside money to be repaid or prepaid my loan, my loan, my home loan, and I would set aside some money for spending for Christmas. So it was very simple for me. I would wait for the year end. But if you get your bonus probably in April, maybe that is when you can set aside some money for your festival spending, right? Bonus budgeting or having financial goals is crucial. It is mandatory. It is essential. It is not unessential. It is not something nice to have. So very important. What is the second? Number two, discount deals. Yes, we all know that during the festive season, there will be discount deals. Yes, but be careful. Don't get fooled. Ensure that there is a genuine discount. And what is more important is that don't buy because there is a discount. Buy because you planned it. You budgeted it. You planned it. You said that this is what I'm going to spend on clothes, food, gifts, vacation, or going to a restaurant. This is what I have decided, right? This is what I'm going to buy. So plan in advance. So when you plan in advance, when you have a discount sale, you know what to buy. So very important, ensure that you keep a track of the discount deals. In my home, my wife does all this. So between the husband and wife, between you both, find out who is good at this, who is good at budgeting and saving, who is good at hunting for discount deals. Yes, one of you should be good at it. Number three, use card reward points. Again, this is not my strength. A lot of reward points, and this is where my wife always checks with me. Let's use our reward points, whether it is giving gifts, whether it is purchasing anything. And trust me, we have bought gold with the reward points, with credit card reward points. One one Christmas, I remember all my shirts and pants, which I buy not so often, once in 2 years or once in 3 years, my wife actually purchased all my shirts, my pants, everything using the credit card reward points. I still remember that year when it happened. All my clothings that year were purchased using the reward points, and a lot of times um, this is what my wife is good at. She keeps checking with me, asking me, please check the reward points, and please give me a west side reward points, or central, or or anything, or Amazon. She says, tell me how many, what are the kind of vouchers we can get, and based on that she would do the shopping. So try this. Again, these were the do's, but now the don'ts. Use credit card prudently, wisely, very judiciously. What does that mean? Don't use the credit card, as I've often said, even in my other videos. Use the credit card not because you have the credit card, but use the credit card because you have the money in your bank, because you have budgeted it, because you are confident that this money will go from this account. That should be your approach. So use it very prudently. Don't just keep swiping your card left, right, and center at shops and malls. Very careful. You won't realize then, but then you will realize in January when you'll be depressed. Right? Never take loans for festival spending. I can keep emphasizing this point again and again and again. Never take loans. Never take a loan. Except for a home, which I've already spoken about many times in my videos. Watch my videos on loans. Get rid of loans. How loans can slow down your wealth. These are all important videos. Please watch them. Loans, and in fact, even in my book, Harmony and Money, I have very clearly explained in detail. In fact, one of the steps from the 7 steps, one of the steps is managing your debt. Please read this if you are in trouble with your debts and you have a habit of taking loans. Please buy this book and read up. Or watch my videos on loans. This is the worst thing that you can do, because you will spend for those few days, for that one day or a couple of days, you will take a loan and you will be repaying the loan for the next 1, 2, 3 years. It's one of the most foolish things to do, because loans for festivals, etc., are high interest personal loans. They don't build assets. These are all depreciating things. These are all things which have lose their value immediately. One day you spend everything like a wedding, but then you have to pay for a number of years. Focus on building memories. Focus on building memories. When our kids were small, I always wanted to go out on Christmas because I didn't want my wife to cook and spend her time because we would go to church and come back. What we would do is every time we would go to a restaurant. Every Christmas we'd go to a restaurant. Now our kids have grown. We actually have food at home. My wife cooks food because she has much more time because she doesn't have to take care of the children. Although she's working, but she's able to cook food. But those days when we used to go out, we built memories. Of course, now we build memories many times of the year. Those days we had this hectic schedule of my work and the kids growing. We would actually go out for Christmas and we would spend that time building memories. We would also go during the festive season, probably out, uh, not exactly on a vacation, but maybe meet our parents or go to places like the botanical garden. We would actually spend time building memories. Yes, you may have to spend money. For example, going to a restaurant, you will have to spend money. But then go to a reasonable restaurant, don't splurge your money, but focus on building memories. Don't spend on Christmas where you are not able to build memories, but it's all waste. It goes waste. So ensure that it's for the family, it's for your family. And even if you buy gifts, and I'm going to talk about gifts, etc., in my next video, but even if you're buying gifts, ensure that they are not so extravagantly expensive and buy them with a purpose. So build memories, focus on building memories for Christmas. I'm not saying that don't enjoy Christmas, enjoy. Spend after budgeting, or if you have a financial goal for that, do it responsibly. Because there is a consequence for overspending. Huge consequences you may not even realize. So be very careful. Let's take a quick look at what could be the consequences and how you have to keep a guard on your expenses. What are the consequences of overspending? Long-term asset loss. Because when you spend that money, that excess money which you have spent, if it were invested, it would turn into lakhs and crores, depending on the number of years. Second thing, you may not overspend, probably you have spent that, but what if you're taking loans? What if you're taking loans and spending? That is the worst form of spending. Because when you take loans, compounding works against you. When you're investing, compounding works for you. When you're taking a loan, compounding works against you. And what happens is your wealth creation slows down. And over a period of year, over number of years, like 20, 30 years, it'll matter in crores, not even in lakhs. So long-term asset loss is huge just for a week of spending. And then you realize later on. But the worst is that many years later, you're not able to meet your financial goals or you have less wealth when you could have much more. Long-term stress and conflicts. In fact, I've covered in my book also this thing that what happens because of loans. Some of the money conflicts is one of the major conflicts in marriage, because of which marriages separate, because of divorces happen. And one of the main causes is debt, loans, too many loans that you're not able to handle, and because of which what happens, there is conflict. Any small things leads to conflict because it's working on your mind, it's at the back of your mind, you're stressed about it, and it affects your relationship, your marriage, and your parenting, your children, your family. And I'm telling you this from experiences of some of my dear customers, my clients, or some of those whom I've interacted with. You pass on a bad legacy. Festivals come and go, but then you're creating an impression on your children. They will follow you. What you do at festivals, they will follow you. What you did at Christmas, they will do the same thing. and ask yourself, what legacy are you passing? Passing a legacy of taking loans, passing a legacy of overspending, passing a legacy of just peer pressure, getting emotional, and thoughtlessly spending. See, remember that. I've mentioned earlier also, even in my book, I've mentioned that our money personalities are formed at home, and your children will copy you, however much you tell them. So, what legacy you want to leave? Now, if you have realized the consequences, the long term consequences are actually long term in nature, loss of long term wealth, conflicts, long term conflicts in marriage, relationship, and long term passing on a legacy which will be long term, generations. Do you want to be a generation which is responsible with money, or a family, a generation which wastes money, lives on debt? And what you do at Christmas will determine that a lot. Hope there is something you have learned from this. I don't want to spoil your Christmas mood or your festive mood, but be responsible, because these things matter long term. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, please let me know with a thumbs up that you have liked it. If you didn't like it, show me this. You can always, show your thumbs down. And if you are new to this channel, if you liked it, I would encourage you to be a part of this community and subscribe. And in my so before I say bye to you, I want to tell you that the next video I'm going to talk about a very important spending, one of the best spending that you can do at Christmas. So wait for that. Stay tuned. Watch that. Something that is very close to my heart, and I've also mentioned in my book. So I'll see you soon, just before Christmas, hopefully, with my next video. So till then, see you. Bye.